Good evening and welcome to Odessa, The Dark Crusade, Season 2. Madeline is expecting company tonight. Well, quick company. She needs to speak with her clanmate, Irene, who is hopefully around. We'll see. She has sent a message, sent a letter, expressing a wish to see her. Nothing major, just it's been a while for the two of them have talked. And, yeah. So she is currently waiting.
Okay. Um, I'm just waiting for my hunting roll, else you'll have a very hungry Irene on your doorstep. Oh, for some reason it didn't work.
Oh, yeah, it's a fail, right?
The first one is a failure. I'm trying to roll the second time.
Whoa,
Ah, there we go.
that first roll there was brutal.
Yeah, right. If that 7 wasn't there, it would have been a botch.
By 4 ones.
Oh
That's
yeah, yeah,
insane.
yeah. The
Okay.
second one is a lot better though.
Hmm.
Okay, she's good. Um, so yeah, after some very long hunting time, um, Irene will go to Ulrich's Old Haven. It's basically the place where, you know, messages can be dropped off for her or visitors can come by. And she notices the message that Madeline left and will decide to, yeah, go and pay a visit to Madeline's place. She knows where it is. So, yeah, not too long, like probably half an hour later, maybe, because, there's a lot of people around on the streets. And yeah, I mean, Irene has a passage, like she has a letter, but still needing to show that every time. So yeah, like half an hour later, she will knock on the door.
Um, you will actually, when you get here, you will see that there is a small, like, you can't just enter. There's a small, like, it's boarded up. The place it's almost has a, not a wall, but like some sort of, a very small, very, very modest palisade, but it looks as though it's very hard to get in or out. As you come up, though, a head will just pop out of what seems to be a little door in it. We'll just say, "Ah, Lady Irene, please come this way. This is Gutria, Madeline's ghoul."
Ah, yes, Irene will be polite and will curtsy and thank the ghoul and will follow. Although she raises an eyebrow, like, okay, this place looks quite different.
Mm.
But yeah, she'll follow.
Yeah, you're let in. Madeline will just come out when she hears the door, and she will just greet the two of you. She will curtsy and hug you, welcome you in.
Yeah, Irene will curtsy as well and return the hug. Um, she'll look back. Are you afraid of an invasion?
No, no. Quite a few places in the district have done the same in lieu of the curfew. And if Torvald did not have something to do, he would have gone insane.
Fair enough, the curfew is definitely an issue still.
That it is. It makes it, well, easier for the guards to run past and not bother us as much. Mm. But please, come in, sit down.
I understand. As Irene will, yeah, walk in and take a seat. I've had the unfortunate encounter with one of the neonates of Clembrugia recently.
Hmm.
He When I'd seen him last, it's been some time ago, but perhaps you've seen him as well. It goes by the name of Adu. He's the Chatter of the Primogen, I believe, or former Primogen. Not entirely sure.
I do not have the most well
It,
pleasure of his company.
he was a very kind and gentle soul. When I saw him last time, he was ripping the throat out of some, well, mortal woman.
That is concerning.
It is indeed. He was accompanied by someone else. I think she was the one who made him do that, or who at least suggested it to him, and his hunger made him easily manipulatable, if that's even a word.
Well, a lesson, if we ever needed more, to not be hungry, if one can avoid it. But I understand such things must be observed and acted upon if needed, but we do have more concerning problems at the moment in this city.
This is true.
I spoke with the sheriff not too long ago.
I see.
I have offered my services. Your friend, Gufram with Sam,
Yes.
he needs to be investigated.
What? Why? If I may ask.
Have you ever heard what happened once you were incapacitated
Incapacitated?
in the cave?
Oh, well, what I've heard is that he found me in some place and then brought me out. I was out of it for most of the way back.
Exactly.
It was a.
There, there is virtually no one to corroborate his story.
I mean, I don't see why he would lie about it.
These are infernalists. We cannot take any chances.
I, I can't believe he would be an infernalist.
And I could not believe that Margot and Joanna would be.
Hmm. This is. You are right at that. However, I do feel that we should be careful. We shouldn't simply start distrusting everybody just because there are some vague facts.
I know.
More importantly, though, and this might be something that might need to be addressed first. Have you heard of the fire in the Noble's Quarter?
Yes,
Have you heard of the second fire in the Noble's Quarter?
maybe not. I am not certain. But I heard when I met the sheriff, I heard some other things of a connection between certain things and these infernalists. But what are these fires you talk of?
Myself and two of the Assamites, Hakim and Al-Qadir, we went to investigate this first fire. I had seen it from where I lived. It was not too far out of my domain. They had their own reasons of joining in the, well, inquiries. But I had also seen it somewhere else. The fire happening. As she kind of, taps against her temple.
Simultaneously, or
No, it was, I don't know, maybe 1.5 weeks ago. Mm,
very troubling.
there's more to it. As soon as I can wrap my brain around it, give me a moment, because my blue booking is not working. The first fire. I don't know what my vision was about. I don't know whether it was the first or the second. Actually, I think it might have been the second. But that would be strange because I was there. No, it was the first one. What I saw was a large estate in the Nobles Quarter. And I kind of walked in there, and I walked into a large library. And there was a black metal box on the floor. When I saw that box, the estate just exploded into a burning black fire. Above the estate, there was a childlike figure hovering.
Hmm.
There, there was more to the vision, but this is basically important.
The same child I saw under the prince's palace, no doubt.
Yes, and the same child that I saw when I was investigating the murders in the guild halls. We bumped into him, and he drove me to frenzy, because a vision entered my head at that point.
Hmm.
That was a vision of an orphanage with a bed, with a circle of salt around it. The circle was broken, and then there was a lot of fire. I frenzied because of the fire. It took Eklios to calm me down. I was there to investigate the murders there, together with the Merchant of Bones, Aldrich, and Eklios. But I ran into that child. He was begging. I gave him a coin, and then I got the vision. That orphan is her. That's Mary.
Are you certain of this?
Yes,
The orphan boy I was so close to was Mary.
yes. When we were investigating this estate that belonged to Lucian de Brugia, we met with this child, Isabella. She was very upset with the Brummagem Council for not responding correctly to what she called breach of the fifth tradition.
An argument, a strong one, could be made that that is the case, but please
Agreed.
continue.
So we asked what happened with this fire, and she explained that Lucian had tried to set a trap for the Infernalist, and he did not receive proper backing, apparently. So half of his house burned down, the back. Now Hakim Semite is rather well versed in Auspex. So we went to investigate, and I went along with him because I figured I might pick up something. We found a wall that someone had, well, basically used to get in the back. But as we were investigating, this is most important. As we were investigating, both him and I got a feeling, and in my case, more of a quick sight of the same orphaned boy hanging in the air. And the threats of that coming closer and closer. So we made a run for it, all of us. Marco was with us as well. We took Isabella along. There were 2 guards that I tried to get out of the way in time. The others were a bit further away when the second fire hit this estate. One of the guards was burned. It immediately turned into ashes, like he would have been one of ours. And I know he wasn't. I've touched human minds before. This person came after us. This childlike figure, the boy, spoke with us in our heads.
She is getting bolder then.
Yes. So I asked, and at first she didn't want to tell her name, or he, as the boy is. Yeah, a boy. But I still think of her as a she. She didn't want to tell her name. She didn't want to tell much. But she had said certain things in my vision about her having a child, about a chorus. When I asked her that, she basically admitted to being the one who had been in my head not too long ago.
Well, things are seemingly coming to an head.
Yeah.
Well, I would urge you, be prepared if the sheriff is to ask you questions in future.
The sheriff. I thought about going to visit him with this, but why would he
Well,
ask me questions?
the more you know, the more you see of this, the more you will become suspected.
Me?
Yes.
The sheriff is suspecting me?
No, but I am sure he has looked into me. I am sure he has knowledge of Aldrich, Merchant of Bones. All the other ancilla he has quite thoroughly looked into. If you are involved in the investigation, he will, sooner rather than later, inquire as to the neonates involved, and will include you.
I see.
Keep this in mind with what happened. You know that I harbor no ill will to you, for that or any other reason.
Thank you.
Prepare for being asked about it. I have. If you stick to the fact that you were, if the conversation should come into the trip you had with Gufran, stick to the fact that you were unconscious in torpor for most of the time.
There is nothing more I can say about that. I was.
Exactly. And that will quench most of his thirst. But I do believe that he has quite a few other things to tend to. But prepare for it. He hasn't asked me directly, but He has inquired in things that I had to explain to him. It is all in the purview of a sheriff, a dutiful one at that. So, I would expect him to do this with everyone.
I see.
This suspect, this whole endeavor is way too important to let anyone be above suspicion, beyond suspicion.
I understand.
Good. Would you like a refreshment?
I've drunk enough before I came here,
Very well.
so I do not require it.
Mm. Do you know what it is she is seeking? Is it people? And what
It's
is it?
fine.
And I will roll for that. Actually, I should have rolled before, but I forgot.
What are you rolling?
Uh, Manipulation subterfuge. That's
Wow,
5 successes. That's
that's very good. I don't think I can top
that's a
that.
boss roll with like
Yeah, so I
seven dice.
think my perception empathy is 5. Have a quick
If you
look.
roll all successes, I'll give it to you, even though the
Let's
Fender
see.
wins, because that would be.
I do have 5 dice. I will roll just for the fun of it, but nope. Nope. To be fair, only one.
That's actually pretty close, honestly.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway, it doesn't matter.
yeah, like Madeline just seems to gauge your response or wait for your response, but seems quite analytical.
What I'm seeking, as in, why
No,
am
no,
I
no,
doing this
no, no.
investigation?
What she,
What she's seeking.
yes, our main problem, our main enemy.
I know she's
Surely.
looking for some stone tablets or something. Um, when the attack of the on the palace happened, I wasn't there because I was with Ulrich to find one of these.
Mhm. Important to her?
I don't know. I'd have to ask Ulrich about that. He didn't really want to tell me much about it. He didn't even let
Neither
me
does he want to
touch
tell
it.
me. And I know that he has a good reason.
Mm,
But it does make our jobs a bit easier. Or a bit less easy.
yeah, let me think for a moment. Because have you spoken with Johanna after the attack on the palace?
I received a letter.
As did I. Did she say anything about the palace? About what happened there?
She regretted it, that she thought herself doomed because of it.
Mm, where is it now? So, what she told me was that, and she thinks for a moment, apparently in the prince's study, somewhere in like stone itself, like there was a stone tablet, and she dug it out when she was still possessed by the demon. And After she dug it out, the demon left her, and there was a small boy.
I managed to catch a glimpse of him as he left.
He had the tablet as well. That was actually my first suspicion that the demon and, well, one of the first suspicions I had that the demon and Mary might have worked together, though I wasn't quite sure. So I didn't know at that time that the boy was a representation of Mary. For a long time, I thought it was the demon who somehow had been tucked away in a mortal form.
Hmm. It is our duty to make sure that this problem is handled, but
I think they're working together somehow.
they would have the same goal, no?
I'm not sure about that though.
An infernalist and a demon.
Mm, I don't know. Like I spoke after the second fire, we spoke with Ulrich, and he says that Mary is not necessarily interested in the same things that, well, normal infernalists are interested in. I'm not quite sure if they have the same goal, but at least they walk together part of the way.
Hmm.
I actually think that I think that there are more that walk together part of that way. The tactician, the wishing woman, they're connected to the demon as well through Johanna.
Plans within plans.
Hmm. Like I'm not sure about this. I've I've sort of told Ulrich about this a little bit, especially since the demon is still operating. You know that, right? He's operating from the basement of Margot's bathhouse. That's why there are murders in the guild hall.
Hmm. Oh yeah. We are truly at an impasse with a lot of work in front of us.
Yes, I think there's two ways we can look into this. At least if we want to look into Mary. Um, Ulrich advised us, and I agree with him, that looking for Mary is difficult, especially since her form is now known to us. So she might drop it for another one, as he said. That makes sense. But her child, in my vision, she said that it was a pity that she had to blow this place up, this estate, because her child just started to make decisions by himself, or by herself, I should say, sorry. So she has a very young child.
Or she is referring to you.
The thought has crossed my mind, but I'm pretty sure that She's not guiding my thoughts anymore.
If you are correct, where do you suggest we start searching for a very powerful
Well,
Canaanite's child?
I'm not sure, but it seemed like the second time Mary came to that estate, she said it was to clean up. Now, Ulrich seemed to think, because it's unlike her to be so public about things, so he seems to think that maybe this child of her made a mistake that she needed to cover up, or that she did this to draw attention to herself and away from the child. So I think that we have to look for not the big problems in the city, but the smaller ones. The big ones, like a fire in the freaking Noble's Quarter, something that obviously stands out,
Hmm.
is Mary, who might try to hide something smaller happening in the city. I don't know exactly how to start looking into this, but
Well, the sheriff and I have already made a preparations for an agreement to attend a gathering of this chorus, a cult within the Nobles Quarter. I hope to assist him in this.
the cult is bigger than just the Noble's Quarter.
But it is a way to start, and it is a place that I know that several people have many influences.
True, I've heard of this cult many, many, many months ago. It first popped up in Riverside. I think it's the same thing because it was public knowledge that people were disappearing in Riverside. But through my contacts that I had in the Nobles Quarter, I learned that the same occult was also starting to form in the Nobles Quarter. So I think this is a cult that's been spreading for over months. What I know is that if it is the same thing, and I could be mistaken, of course, because maybe not everything is connected in some weird way, or if this is the same cult, then they have portable shrines that once you know where they are, when you look for them again, they're gone. People leave things at these shrines, not necessarily gold or stuff, but more precious things, personally precious things. So it doesn't need to be of value to the public as long as it's of value to them. Um, if I'm correct. It's been some time since I looked into it. And people have been disappearing from these shrines.
Hmm. Hopefully, me and the sheriff will not disappear if we attend such a thing, but it needs investigation nonetheless.
Well, keep that in mind then.
I will.
If you want to, I can try and see if I can find some more information on it. But Riverside is a hotbed right now,
Oh, yes.
and I think that's done on purpose as well.
There is that, but also, well, it is quite quite good and quite a good plan, honestly. Since with all the crime in Riverside, there
I
is
think
quite a few ways that you could get leads on various things that will only be mortals that are criminals.
I wouldn't be surprised if the crime was fostered there to hide within specifically.
Quite so.
The crime started when the plague began. We know the plague was set up, so the crime is quite possibly as well. And I have reason to believe that at least, the form that we've seen Mary is in now was in an orphanage.
Hmm.
I've heard that there is an orphanage in Riverside. If this cult is in Riverside and Mary was in Riverside, whether she's there or not, and this cult also started in Noble's Quarter, then it would make sense that her child might be in hiding in the Noble's Quarter.
A thing to look into. I will very much assist you if you find something that would indicate such things.
I'll look into any suspicious behavior of the houses. I know of one house that's been in the news recently, but that was my own.
Another thing to be conscious of. If your own house is under scrutiny, but
Not necessarily under scrutiny, but I would prefer it not to get under scrutiny.
I understand.
I recently had to replace someone.
I'm sad to hear that.
I'm sure his life as a monk will be more satisfying to him.
Oh, so he did not leave us. That is good. I feared for a moment that.
You think of me so heartless then?
No, I thought you had lost someone. Not of your own volition.
No. I'll try and look into the noble houses some more, see if there's something that stands out. You said you and the sheriff are looking into it as well.
We plan to partake if we can get access to this cult.
Which house, do you know that?
Not at the moment. What I heard was that the cult was in the Noble's Quarter and we had the possibility of getting very close to it.
I see. I would like to know where I have to look out for. What I have to look out for, sorry. After all, I do live there.
Good.
So if there's any information that you can share with me regarding that particular part of the town, I would be very grateful. But perhaps I should talk to the sheriff about this.
Perhaps.
After all, he makes his home there as well.
Exactly.
Thank you, though, for this information.
Think nothing of it. I know you must have many things to see to.
I do.
Have a very good evening. Please, you
Yes.
can stay if you wish, but
No, I
I
can't
will
stay
have
in
to
the
get
city.
back to work.
I would only endanger you.
Come now, Irene, it would be fine. It will be fine.
Mary threatened me, or this group, when
Well,
she learned that I knew about her child. She told, in general, that she might have to kill either me or us, aka the group that was there. When I told Ulrich, he told me that, well, he basically told me to get back home. So I'm here short times to settle some affairs and make sure that the things I have in motion will stay in motion. But other than that, I reside in Timmerland for the moment.
hmm. Very well.
So thank you for your hospitality, and I hope that the information we shared with each other will be put to good use.
Likewise. Please have a very good evening.
And you as well, Lady Madeline.
Madeline will see her out, and as she leaves, the scene will come to a close. Thank you very much, players, for playing and watchers for watching. Good night.